What's up, Saber fans? It's your boy Breeze back again. Today's installation is on an 89Sabers Obi-Wan Kenobi Revenge of the Sith. So in episode 3, Obi-Wan, same lightsaber he used during the Clone Wars. This thing looks amazing. There's a blade plug that comes with the kit. There is a little bit of shine through. I'll show you guys that in a little bit. And it actually comes with two different pommel caps. So this one there's a display emitter, which you can swap out when you have it on display. It doesn't have these vents for the sound. But this one is the effects pommel cap, so you can hear the sound when you have the lightsaber on. So it's Obi-Wan's iconic thin neck lightsaber from episode 3. So this one was sent in to me by Liam, and Liam has had me do a bunch of his lightsaber projects, but this one is special to him because he actually has a super dope cosplay of General Kenobi from the Clone Wars that he put together. He looks freaking awesome with it on, and this is the last piece of the puzzle when it comes to his cosplay. So he will now have Obi-Wan's lightsaber to go along with it. So I had to be a little bit creative with this one in terms of the installation. And let's go ahead and take a look at the installation, and I'll explain it to you guys a little bit more. All right, let's take a closer look at this installation. So under the blade plug, which comes with the kit, is a Shtok V4 lit PCB. It is connected down here, and then on the very bottom here is actually a blade side PCB that is connecting the chassis to the emitter. It is a fully removable chassis system that I designed. I got pretty creative with this because it is Liam's birthday coming up, which he mentioned to me, and I did something pretty special for him. So I put the two switches. It is a 2-button setup. Under the clamp card, top button is your power, bottom button is your auxiliary. You should be able to feel the good tactical feedback from those switches under the clamp card. All right, in order to get to the chassis, there are two ways you can do it. You can remove the pommel, and you can remove the grenade section, the booster section as well, together or separately. For this case, I'm just gonna do it together. And pull it out. Here we go. So I did mention I did something special for you, Liam. I included a crystal chamber for you here. It is a crystal chamber with a real quartz crystal in here. I know you did not ask for one, but this is my gift for you for your birthday, my friend. And so up here, we have a blade side pixel PCB without the LEDs. So this one is actually making contact with your blade side PCB inside the hilt. It comes down to a crystal chamber that I just mentioned with one single accent pixel. It connects to the switches with these double spring loaded connectors here, which I thought was pretty clever in terms of getting a crystal chamber and switches in the clamp section of the hilt, and it works flawlessly. It is installed with a Proffie 3.9. I know you are used to this soundboard as you have this in your other sabers. Here is your kill switch on the opposite side, removable, rechargeable, 18650 battery, 28mm Smuggler's Outpost Elite speaker. All right, and then I did some custom work on this chassis as well. So I did use this rub and buff. It's a little bit of black and pewter mixture on these sections and a little bit of gold rub and buff here, just to make it look like in universe. On this side here of the chassis in Arabesh, it says, hello there. On the other side, it says a Breezy Saber works for me. And then just, just the different details on the chassis itself. Let's go ahead and flip her on. There is your crystal chamber with the real quartz crystal. So on the first sound font, it just pulses in the same color as the blade. I do have gesture controls on it. You got twist on, twist off. You'll be able to see that. All right, and then when you want to put the chassis inside, you can either drop the bottom half of the chassis in here and push it in before you put it in, or you can just do it without doing that first. I do want to show you that in the pommel, I did print out a little spacer here in the pommel. It doesn't affect the sound at all, but what it does is it secures the chassis. Even though it's pretty snug in there already, it just secures it. So when you're swinging it about, there's no chance of disconnection when the chassis is inside the hilt, all right? So what you're gonna wanna do when you put the chassis inside, you see this little notch on the side where it says hello there. That's on the left side of the crystal chamber, the left side when you're looking at it this way of the spring connectors. Inside the hilt, these little greeblies here, they stick out into the hilt, but they also are used as like a guide rail, right? So you do want your spring connectors to be facing the top portion of your hilt, because that's where, if you take a look here, I installed the other part of the spring connector on the very top, right under the control box. You are going to want to just guide it in. You'll be able to feel it, because once it hits the screws, you won't be able to rotate the chassis at all. You want to push it in all the way. And once you do, then you can just screw in the whole bottom half of the hilt all the way. And then you should be good to go. It's nice and loud with the 28mm Elite. All right, now let's go ahead and test this thing out with the blade. Oh, before we test it out with the blade, I do want to show you, so the kit does come with your blade plug, and it comes with your display emitter, should you want to just put that on when it's on display, so everything looks nice on your shelf. And then this that it's going to become installed with is your effects pommel cap, so we can hear the sound. All right, it's also going to come with this hex key for your blade retention as well. All right, now let's actually take a look at it with a blade. All right, so we're gonna put a blade in. There is the Shtok that you saw earlier. It does take a 1-inch blade. So Liam, a few pointers when you're putting in your blade, it can be a little tight here, which is good because with a thin neck, you don't want your blade just slipping out. Even though this thing does have 2 retention screws right here at the emitter, when you put your blade in, you're gonna feel a little bit of resistance, but once you do, you wanna just push it down and rotate it clockwise if you need it to go down. Because if you do it counterclockwise, the emitter and the whole thin neck comes apart that way. And I definitely don't want you to be unscrewing it because of what's connected from the emitter to the bottom of the emitter, if you will. So you push it down. It should be nice and snug, but you can also tighten your retention screws here just to get, a little bit more security of your blade. All right, so it is a 2-button setup. Like I said before, top button is your power, bottom button is your auxiliary. Gesture controls. So unlike some Obi-Wan replicas that usually have the buttons right here, I did do the 2 buttons under the clamp card like I explained before. And then in terms of the sound fonts, Liam, I did put 5 Obi-Wan Kenobi sound fonts at the beginning of the list, but then the rest of it are sound fonts that you are familiar with the previous builds that you sent in for black and blue. But of course, I know you know your way around programming the Proffie, so whatever you want to do once you get it, it's all up to you.
Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Red. Orange, red. Dark orange. Orange. Gold.
So also have your menu navigations in Obi's voice.
Yellow. Green, yellow. Green. Aquamarine. Cyan. Deep sky blue. Dodger blue. Blue. Revert. Obi-Wan. Hello there.
Oh, and Liam, one thing I didn't go over is when you do remove the blade after you undo the retention screws, to remove the blade, you want to do it the same way as you put it in. When you're pulling it out, it's best to just rotate the blade clockwise and pull it out that way. That way it's not spinning the emitter and the thin neck the other way to loosen it up. Well, that's it, guys. This is an 89Sabers Obi-Wan Kenobi Revenge of the Sith Episode 3 lightsaber replica installed with a Proffie 3.9 for Liam. Liam, thank you so much for trusting me with another one of your lightsaber projects. I hope you love what I did for you. And happy birthday, man. Enjoy this. I know it's gonna complete your cosplay. I can't wait to see photos of it. If you guys are looking for a custom lightsaber installation, a custom Neopixel blade, a conversion of a Black Series, or a master replica, hit me up, check me out, Breezy Saberworks on Facebook, Instagram, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Till next time. May the Force be with you. Peace.